Hello, welcome to Have a Go, and I'm Alan. Today we're going to be doing more scraping on this, and I did some more research, and the way I was doing it was the wrong way. You're supposed to go this way for your one pass, then 90 degrees opposite on the other pass, so that when you're scraping, you're not scraping into the hollow that you already made. Instead, you're going crossways to it, so you're hopefully not digging yourself a bigger hole. The other tip I got was to use window cleaner to clean the surface of the workpiece before you print it on the surface plate. So, with those lessons in tow, let's get stuck into it. I had noticed that people were doing a crisscross pattern on their scraping in other videos, but none of them explained why they were doing it. I had to go and look up videos by Stefan Gotteswinter and Keith Rucker to find out why. So I highly recommend looking those guys up. Keith Rucker used a yellow dye before printing it on the surface plate so that the yellow low spots stand out against the blue high spots. I don't have yellow dye, unfortunately. I only have the blue, so I can't do that. Now, I did try to look up some books on doing this. Unfortunately, the only book I could find that mentioned scraping was Dave Gingery's Build Your Own Metalworking Shop from Scrap book, and that basically just says print it on the surface plate, scrape away the blue, and then retest it on the surface plate. It doesn't even mention using the stone to remove any burrs on top. I tried looking up on Amazon to see if there are any books about scraping. Nope, no books about scraping, annoyingly. So I had to go first, as per the channel title. And when I was getting suboptimal results, I resorted to looking up YouTube videos. I don't like looking up instructional videos on YouTube because it tends to have about 10 minutes of waffling before 2 minutes of actual content. Especially if you're doing videos on things like repairing laptops. The video will spend 10 minutes talking about the state of his feet, how his mates are getting on. Yeah, like, share and subscribe. And then after all that social stuff is done, it'll be like, oh, and then you just take out these 2 screws here and just lift the top off the laptop. So that's why I didn't look up the videos first on how to do this stuff. Ideally, I should be using a precision ground flat stone for doing this, but I don't have one. Right, I'll spend a bit more time on this. There was a bad enough dip right here that I took the whole thing back to the sanding belt to reduce the top by a millimetre or so, to get to the level of the dip that was here. So now I'm re-scraping. The only parts that I don't think I'll get is this and this inclusion here. But I'm going to keep on scraping until I get this part and this part to the level of everything else. Then hopefully I can move on to mounting the steel ways on top of this. Also, I got some new gloves at the hardware store, and so far they're working out a lot better than the blue plastic ones. So I'll keep you updated. I'm calling it here. I'm chasing my tail on this, and I'm not convinced I'm making any progress. It's reasonably flat across the entire length, or at least I'm getting contact patches across the entire length, which is the main goal. This isn't the bearing surface, it just needs to be a flat base to mount the ways onto. If you think the surface finish looks different, it's because I changed methods. I would glue this on the surface plate and use the detail sander to nibble away at the high spots, instead of the scraper. Right, this is cold rolled steel. Is formed into this under high pressure and by metal rollers while it's cold, not while it's hot. As a result, it is extremely accurate in its dimensions, or relative to other stock, so it shouldn't need too much forming. However, it is currently far too long, so going to need to cut some off. Come out. And take the camera over to the bandsaw. Right, this is the kind of job that this bandsaw was designed to do. It's not really designed to be stood upright like this. Alright, we're cutting steel, so I just put the speed onto the slow one. How's that angle? Yep. Okay, note for future reference, do not put your foot where the cut-off stock will land. Now, this is the kind of finish you get on the bandsaw. Not amazing, but it's still quite good, especially for the amount of personal effort that I have to put into hacksawing, which is to say none. I'm going to keep this piece as a gauge for later in the lathe build. Now we need to test. I know I said before that this is very accurately made material, but we still have to test this to see which of these two sides is the straightest. So I'll just turn to Mr. Surface Plate. I think I'm going to have best luck with this side. Now the reason I'm scraping this is because when this is flat on the lathe bed, it'll have the carriage riding along it, and if I want the carriage to run straight, then the surface that the carriage is riding on has to be straight too, which is this. Also, with a professionally built lathe or mill, you'll pay quite a lot of money to get one that's had hand scraped ways. So does that mean that my lathe is going to be boutique?